Hello and good morning. It is Conversations with Bobbi Jo and Sheena Kantar. I don't know which way it's going, but there you go.
You're on the right way. That's what.
I'm on my phone today up in Connecticut, still visiting. I'm here to marry my friends this Sunday. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. But today, my girl Sheena, we are talking about leaving everyone with the impression of increase. This is like one of my most favorite things. Because can't you see it? It's like contagious. And this is why I like pay it forward and, leaving what is that other saying that people say? I don't know, but paying it forward and doing those good things or random acts of kindness. There it is. That's big hit and people love to do it. And why do we love to do it? Because it makes you feel so good. Even when you're going through a toll booth and you're paying for someone behind you or at Starbucks in the drive-through, and it's like you don't even know who they are, but you feel so good. You drive away like giddy. And that's what it's about. Why can't we find more giddiness in our life, people? Take it away.
Absolutely. Why can't we find more happiness? I mean, leaving people with the impression of increase. Again, about 15 times around on this lesson, I was thinking that I actually took it that I had to leave them thinking that I was better.
Mm.
That I was boosting myself up so that they would think that I was something. And that's the thing, it's just like, isn't that so funny? It's just like, that it's okay, I'm this and I'm that and I'm the other. And it's so not about you. It's so not about me. It is so not about that at all. And it's about, when you're just walking past somebody and you just say, my goodness, you look beautiful today. And like that is leaving somebody with the impression of increase. The other one that I get it with is that when somebody asks you, how are you today, do you go, oh, I'm miserable and I'm depressed and this happened? I mean, you may be, but really, do you want to pass it on? I mean, it's like infectious. Like laughing is infectious, so is misery. What is it? Misery loves company. So if you're not feeling so good, stop bringing everybody else down with you. Like that's just pure selfishness, even though I was talking before that selfishness was good. Not in that way. That's how I see it. People go, well, I've got to tell people how I feel. A problem shared is a problem halved. And I went, no, it's not. And that's the next lesson, which we're going to be talking about after on Monday. But here's the thing, it's just like, just because you feel crap, please, when you make somebody else feel good, you start to feel better, not by
Mm-hmm.
telling them your problems, but by asking about them and glorifying them and what have you been up to and blah blah blah. Just deflect from yourself, and I guarantee you, you will feel so much better when you leave that conversation.
Yeah,
Right, Bobby Joe?
definitely. And I know Bob says don't make them be, half but kind of compliments, but people love to be complimented. I've always done that. I've been, if you're in the ladies' room washing up your hands, oh, it's a beautiful dress. If I really think it, or if you have beautiful eyes, if I ever think it, I just say it. And it's amazing that most people are like taken aback by just kindness like that. It's really interesting. But it's like when we make others rise and we don't do it to make ourselves rise, but that's inevitably what happens because their vibration lives. It's energetic. Remember, we say this all the time. We're 99.9% energy people. Okay, we got to wrap our head around and see it physically that we're only 0.001% of what you're seeing here. So we're energy. So when you all of a sudden say something and it makes somebody feel good in their heart, our heart chakras leach out to like 8 feet around us. And of course they feel good. So it makes you feel good. And I don't do it to make them feel good, like you said, so that they'll like me better. No, I just say it because I feel it. And it's such a, why don't people, I just really notice sometimes that women here in the States can be really catty to one another. I mean, not the people I try to surround myself with, but I've been at places, and I tend not to look like the nines and blow dry my hair and put makeup on. Obviously, you see me reeling raw every morning, but some people will stereotype that. I think living in the South too, in America here, the girls, they all curl their hair and they wear their makeup, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then don't look at me up and down and judge me for my beautifulness because mine comes from within.
I love that you said there actually, because the heart
Mhm.
is 5,000 times more magnetic than the mind. And it's far, so people feel your heart before they hear your words and whatever's going on in here. If you don't have a warm heart, they feel that. And so if you've ever tried to get somebody to be your friend or whatever, if you're trying to get something from them, people can feel it. Like this is just an
Mhm.
icon, like a computer icon on the front.
Yep.
What's behind all this code or whatever, this awesomeness that has created us is what's here, but you can block it with this icon on the front, and you know that's what people are feeling. And so that selfishness to be like what you said there, Bobby Jo, about telling other people because it makes me feel good, that's the selfishness we're talking about. That is so selfish of you to tell me that I look really good so that you can feel good. Absolutely. Now we all feel good. And it doesn't have piss people off. I've had friends, I've had people say to me, stop with that positivity malarkey. Even when my mum, and I knew that she was dying, but my Auntie Rosie told me to stop with the positivity malarkey, her very words. And I just went, what does it matter? Like, we all know where she's going. Why can't we just be happy about it? Why do we have to be miserable into death? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wherever that person actually passes on, they're the one increasing. They're the ones that
Hmm.
are expanding. And we're the ones, we're not crying for them, we're crying for our bloody selves, let me tell you, because our heart and soul knows, oh my God, they're free and I'm still stuck here. So why don't we just make the most of it with everybody else that we're around, leave everybody with the impression of increase. If that's the only lesson out of the 12 lessons that you ever do, you'll transform your world and everybody else's as well. You just watch it. I'm telling you.
I know. Can you imagine at your workplace if everyone was like talking like we were talking? Not you particularly, Sheena, saying, but like you out there, the audience. Can you imagine going to your disgruntled office and everyone was like, yo, hi, do you need a coffee? Hey, high five and woo, let's have a good day. I mean, life would be fun. Life is not here to be suffered, people. We're all working so hard to pay the bills. You really think that was the plan? So watch those cultural paradigms. Watch your family paradigms. Why are you doing what you're doing? But I want to say this, Sheena, what is malarkey?
A
I
load
was
of
like, there's
rubbish.
that
Yeah.
apology again. Love it.
That malarkey. So basically, like it's a dismissive term, that positivity malarkey, like you're just messing around and stop with that nonsense kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. But something you said there just reminded me of my 16-year-old self when I'm sitting in the middle of my medical secretary's diploma class. And I just had this download, but probably my first download ever. And it said, life is a game which anyone can play, but to some, it's no fun. And I turned around and I said that to my friend, and she just cracked herself up laughing. She went, who the hell do you think you are? Now, if ever there was a paradigm stopped right there, the downloads never came again after that.
Oh,
She just laughed at me. But now she hears it when I write it now and again. She goes, oh, I remember. I remember the first time you said that, because it was so on Sheena like at that time. So I don't know what, well, I do know where it came from, but yeah, guys, life is a game. As Shakespeare said, what is it? Life is a stage and the people merely players.
mm,
How are you playing this? I mean, there's a lot we could find out, loads more about who are we, where did we come from. But at the end of the day, it all just came down to you're here, you're experiencing yourself. How do you want to experience yourself? Do you want to feel good? We'll make others feel good. Like,
mhm.
period. I that's if you're feeling down, pick up the phone and make someone else happy. That's what my Bob said. The only way to get yourself out of a downer is to do that. Try it.
Oh, the only way I get myself out of a downer, and Sheena's known, I'm putting myself to bed early. Just I've only been few of those, especially going through all this stuff because you want to beat yourself up in the first couple of years. You're so just blah, the mindset. You're so tired of thinking. It's exhausting. It's like running a marathon when you're first starting a little bit until you mentally can get up to speed. But I know there was a few times she's put herself to bed, or I would call her on Marco Polo crying, and she'd be like, just go to bed. You're like, don't bring me down with you. Don't bring me down with you. So yeah, it's about people, and it's not about we're trying to have everyone rise like on purpose. It's just who we are, and it's in our nature. And what a beautiful world it would be. Everyone could treat that. And isn't that, well, let's not get biblical. Isn't it treat your neighbor? Isn't there something biblical about that?
Yeah, treat your neighbor as yourself, because basically they are yourself. They are you. Like, we're all one. They're your
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. And when you start to see people like that,
Yeah. And
I mean,
that's it.
my two brothers never liked themselves, and one's transcended, and he's expanded wherever he's going, and the other one doesn't thinks I'm just like he would call this positivity malarkey, and so he doesn't
Oh,
speak to me because he actually thinks this is a load of rubbish. But I send
yeah.
him love every day. He's always there.
Yeah, we're not better. We don't think we're better. I don't even know if we're better, truthfully, but we're just living our truth and our authentic self, and it feels so good. So we keep doing it. Like we're just doing these. We're not trying to get anything. Years ago, we would have been like, "Hey, Sheena, what are we gonna do?" and strategize. And we don't. We talk for like a whole second before we get on. What do we want to talk about today? And then we just jump on. Two friends having a conversation. If you like what we're doing, tell your friend about us. Go to YouTube. Go to these conversations of Bobbi Jo and Sheena. Let's spread the love through the world because that's what I know at 54 years old. It comes down to two things, my friends. And that is we are one and it's all about the love. And I was walking around that airport, Atlanta, like the Cali, it's hot down there, baby. But it's a huge international airport. And I was trying to walk around and see the good in everyone, and they're me, they're me, they're me, and it's kind of a trip. And there is, people would catch your eye and just smile. And isn't that all we need is just some kindness? I don't know where all this fear and where all this anger and where all this terrorism comes from because we've all come out of a woman one way or another, side of the belly or somewhere else. And it just really blows me away that we all have a mom. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some aliens walking around us, but that's a whole other thing. Go to Gaia for that. But, you know, if we're all just came from love, why is it that it's where it's at in places and countries and those cultural paradigms being right? And we don't even need to open those can of worms because, again, if we have two vases, why am I going to talk about that stuff? I just don't even acknowledge it. I see that it's there, the car wreck. I look over. I see what's going to go. I'm not in denial. I just choose my thoughts to fill the love vase. How are we going to treat each other? Because I think that's way more powerful because fear does never last. Never. If you go down fear and false evidence appearing real, we did that a few days ago. So that's mine for today, leaving everyone with the impression of increase because everyone deserves it. Really, we're just here. People really need some love out there. We need to change the shift. I want a world shiftly paradigm. Is that right? Yeah.
That's so funny because that was the word that was in my head, and then I forgot what the word was, and then I just thought, oh well, clearly it doesn't matter. And then you said the word because this every time you choose a different thought, you are actually paradigm shifting. I did not quite realize that let's never mind the science and whatever is behind it all, but every time you choose a new thought that serves you where you want to go, you actually shift paradigms because it's like coming to the crossroads and you've got a right or a left. You can do the left and do what you've always done, or you can choose right. And biblical, Jesus said, fish on the right side. So, and then incidentally, in Northern Ireland, we would say, like, do you kick with the right foot? And that would depend whether you were Catholic or Protestant, but that just came back in my head there. Never mind. I'm not even going down that road. But anyway, do you
Okay,
kick
I
with the
love
right foot? We want to go to the right, but basically the righteous way and feeling right and feeling good. And the only way I think that we can feel even better is what we said the last video was loving yourself and then overspilling that into everybody else. And then that will come right back on you again. And that's the circle that we want, isn't it? That's the completion of the electric circle, the electric circuit. And
it. Yeah.
go on, try it. Try not
I
for one day to not say anything that you don't want, to only speak of what you do.
challenge you on that. And that is the laws of cause and effect that we talked about. You sending it out, but it's not going to come back in the same person. It's going to come around. It's like the ripple in the pond. It's going to come around back again. And that was what Sheena said right there. And Sheena, of course, tell the stories about North Ireland. I love it. I love those little tidbits. That's what brings us authenticity here. But you just said it. It's the choice. At the V, that's the choice. It's the decision. We talked about that last week or the week before was one of our first podcasts. Well, whatever we're doing here. But that was the first one. It is a choice. Everything is a choice. It's a decision. And you, in the moment, ask and drop out of the head, right? I say, lead with your heart, with love, not with your head in fear, and just go and thought authentically. Why is it that I'm going to choose that? Well, because my mom wanted. No, choose you. Because when you choose you always first, that's when you feel you, and then it trickles to others. And that's what we're setting the example of here. Love you. You're amazing, right? And Desai will say that there's nothing to feel. There's nothing to heal. I do that all the time. Heal, fix, or change about ourselves. And that was a weird concept. And people don't like it when I say that. I'm not perfect. No human being's perfect. Well, you know what? Let's just switch that paradigm. Why can't we all be perfect in our own way? We're human beings. There's going to be flaws, but you know what? Flaws are our authenticity of who we are. If we're all perfect, then we're going on to the other side because we've done our done deal here. And that's all I got for you. Closing up. Bobbi Jo Mackoltz. Reach out, talk to your friends, show your mom this video, show your sister, show your coworkers. Can you imagine if all your coworkers were listening every morning, starting their day in this little pep rally way? What a great world it would be. Treat people with kindness. Love you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say no more. We could talk on and on and on, trust me. And we have done. That's why we decided to share our conversations. We thought people might benefit from this. So that's it from me. And I'll see you next time.
See you next time. Have a great one.
I was just about to complain.